Good morning, ma'am. This
Good
is my
morning, very
resume.
good morning. How are you?
Yeah, ma'am, I'm great. Thanks for asking me. How are you, ma'am?
Yeah, fine. So previously you have completed some rounds. So this is a technical round for you.
Okay, ma'am.
So as per your resume, you have mentioned in your resume that SQL, you are perfect in SQL,
Yes,
right?
ma'am.
So shall I ask some questions on SQL?
Yes, ma'am, sure.
Yes. Okay. So what is database?
Database is nothing but the database management system. Like it stores some software information, and the applications store data as a file system, and the data is generally stored in the either hierarchical form or navigational form. The data normalization is not present in the DBMS, and the actually it defines it does not mention or apply any applications does not support any systems and in DBMS, and the actually data is applied in a file system in DBMS. So that's why there is no relationship between the tables, and it does not define any distributed database in the DBMS.
Okay, then how you can create a relationship between the tables?
By using relationship between the tables, we can use the RDBMS, Relational Database Management System. So we can use that RDBMS, and we can give the relation between the tables.
Okay. So how you can create a table in the database?
So create a command you can use, and you can create a table in the SQL.
Okay. So what is data?
Data is nothing but a collection of some information like facts and figures. So facts is nothing but it includes either text files or audio files, and figures is nothing but it includes graphics and video files, etc. So data is nothing but whatever we are collecting the information from the keyboard or user, and you can store in a particular place is called the data. Like example, student information, student marks, either customer invoice details. So whatever we are collecting the information, and that can be stored in a particular place is called the data.
Okay. So can you tell me what is the difference between delete, truncate and drop?
Yeah, sure, ma'am. Delete is nothing but this command is used to delete only the row from the table based on the condition given in a where clause. And if you and we can also delete delete command you can use and delete all the rows from the table if no condition is specified, and it does not it does not free the space containing. So that is called the delete. And truncate is nothing but it is used to truncate all the rows from the table and free the space containing. And drop is nothing but it is used to remove remove an object from the database, and if you use drop drop command, it will be remove all the data from the table, and table structure is also removed from the database.
Okay.
That is called the drop.
Okay, that's fine. Can you tell me about what is a primary key?
Primary key is nothing but it does not allows null values, and it does not allows any null values and in that, and it can be defined one or more columns, and it can be defined
It can be defined on one or more columns
in the table.
Is it possible?
Yes, ma'am, sure. Sure, ma'am.
But I can say that it is not possible. You can create only one primary key for your table.
Yes, of course, ma'am. Primary key it allows only one primary key on a table. And it can also it can be defined table level or column level also, and it can be unique index will be created automatically in the primary key.
What is the meaning of unique index then?
Unique index is nothing but unique index. It does not also duplicate values, but it allows null values in unique key. But the primary key it does not allows null values. So that is the difference between the unique key and primary key.
Okay. So what about aggregate functions?
So aggregate functions is nothing but a grouping functions, and it does not allow null values. And aggregate functions mainly we can use the calculation purpose, calculation of set of values and written in a single value. That is called the aggregate functions. And aggregate functions having 5 types. So what are means average, sum, maximum, minimum, and count. So these 5 are all using in the aggregate functions.
Aggregate functions. Okay, where we can apply these functions like minimum function, maximum function. You are saying that average function. So where on which column you can apply these functions?
These aggregate functions, we can use, the main purpose is calculating, for example average. So collecting some group of collection of some values, and you can calculate average on those values and give a result on a single value, and maximum minimum. So these commands we can use either smallest or largest numbers of rows in the table. And
can you take any real-time example and you can say where we can use these functions?
Yeah, sure, ma'am. For example, average. So if I got one student got a five subjects in marks,
Yes.
so we have to average that marks total for whatever we are having the student total marks, and what he get the marks in that subjects. So that purpose we are using this average. And the maximum minimum also we can use that, for example in a class 50 members is there, so 50 members are not getting the same result, but some people's getting a high marks and some people's getting a low marks. So that purpose we are using maximum students, how many members are getting a maximum marks and how many members are getting smallest marks in the class. So that purpose we are using this maximum and minimum commands.
Okay. So how many types of commands you are having in SQL?
Oh, commands is five, ma'am. DML command, DTL, and DML, TCL, and DQL.
Okay. So coming to DDL, what are the commands we are having?
DDL, data definition language. So data definition language having some commands like modify, alter, and drop. So the type of commands is there having in DDL.
Okay. Coming to data manipulation language.
A data manipulation language having some commands like alter, modification, and truncate. So these are all having a DML commands, data manipulation language.
Okay. Next, take this marker and write down on the board. Create one table. Okay. You need to create one table. In the table, you need to insert the data in 3 ways. We can insert the data into the table in 3 ways.
Okay.
What are the 3 ways we are having? Just mention on the board.
Oh, okay, ma'am. Firstly, the insert command is used to new rows of a data in a table, and there is a 2 ways actually. And first method is nothing but there is no specify any column names where we need to insert a values, and we need only the values. And second method is nothing but we need to specify both the column name and values. And
okay, just show me with an example. Just create like employee table you can take.
okay, ma'am.
Employee can contain ID, name and location.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. So just create one table with employee name,
Okay,
and you
ma'am.
can store ID,
Name and location.
location. That means address.
Okay,
Address or location, anything you can take. And you need to create the employee table, and you need to store some data into it by using insert
Insert
command. So how you can insert it? Write down on the board.
Okay, ma'am. Sure. Employee, so now we are creating a table here, and next we can insert a values into a table. So insert into employee like ID. So ID is like 1, and then is a integer data type, and the name is like Lucky, and we can give the location is HYD. So this is the type 1 to insert a values into the table. And the next type 2 is,
You have done a mistake. Insert into employee.
So insert into employee values here, like ID is integer data type 1 and name is Lucky and location is Hyderabad. So this is the type 1 and next to type 2. So type 2 is nothing but we can insert values into a table. Insert into employee, like and we can also insert into values in a data type 2 is nothing but, and we can also insert a values at a time. We can create only one row. So now here I'm taking another row, so 2 and name is so I'm creating another row. So we need to insert a values. So like this, in if you want to how many rows we want to create, so that's why we use these insert employee values. So we can insert the values into a table. And another type is nothing but employee values like and ID and name and location. So we need to mention like this. And next values like 3. Here we can use not like this. So here we are giving the ampersand and ampersand name and ampersand location, right? So now employee values like employee values for ID. So we need to mention here like ID number is 3 and employee values ID name is nothing but and location is nothing but so we need to mention like this. Here values can be inserted like so. We want to mention another we can create another row of elements, so we can SQL. So we need to go we don't use this insert into employee values, so we need to mention this syntax. Okay, we can give slash and we can also enter so these type of values directly. So like ID is nothing but 4 and a name like Rani and location so we can give like this. If you want to any number of rows can be created like this.
Okay, yeah, comment it. So okay, how can you retrieve all the columns from the table, all the rows, whatever the rows you are having, how you can retrieve it? How can you retrieve all the columns from all the rows from the table?
Yes ma'am, we can use the select command. So select to start from employee table, we can use this and we can retrieve the data from the table.
Okay, what is the purpose of alter command? How you can alter some data into the table?
Yes ma'am, alter command is nothing but it is used to new rows of a table, definition of its columns. And alter command we are using the main purpose is adding and rename of a column and modify, so drop add and drop constraints, enable or disable constraints. So for that purpose we are using this alter, and alter is nothing but a add a column, drop a column, modify a column. So and alter, add and drop constraints, enable or disable constraints. So we can use this purpose of alter command. And so these are all the having some separate syntaxes having there.
Okay. So what is foreign key?
So foreign key, it is nothing but it allows the duplicate values and null values, comparing the unique value and primary key. And it does not, it is also defined on one or more columns, and it defines a table level or column level, and it refers a column by itself, and it can refer a column of a primary key or a unique key. So that is called the foreign key.
Okay. So okay, what is a subquery?
Subquery. So subquery is nothing but it is also called as a nested query or inner query, and a subquery is nothing but a nested query. So query inside the query, and a where clause of one query may contain another query is called the subquery. And a subquery can also returns small single or multiple values.
Okay.
And subquery can be returns a table in main query. And a single query of one query is we can use within the having clause.
Okay. So what is the difference between order by clause and having clause?
Order by clause, it is nothing but it is used to sort rows based on a columns, one or more columns,
Okay.
either column or expression. That
What about a having clause then?
having clause, it is used to filtering a rows, and grouped, it is used to return a grouped rows which can be written in a group by clause, and it does not define in a where clause.
Okay. So next, what is a join?
So join, it is nothing but it is a combination of rows from one or more two or more tables, and between the combined rows in between the tables. So that is called the join. And join have divided into another 5 types. They are natural joiner, self joiner, and Cartesian joiner, like inner join, outer join. And outer join can be also divided into another 3 types, like left outer join, right outer join, and full join.
Okay. Can you explain with the diagrams?
Yes, ma'am, sure.
Yeah, you can use the marker and go on to the board.
Okay, ma'am. So joins can be divided into another 5 types. So what are they? Means natural join, and second one is Cartesian join, so joins can be another 5 types. So what are they? Means inner join, outer join, and self join, natural join, Cartesian join. And outer join can be another divided into 3 types. So what are they? Means left outer join, and right outer join, and third one is full join.
Okay. Can you draw a diagram for and how, if you are taking 2 tables,
Yes,
how
ma'am.
you can retrieve the data? Okay. Draw one diagram for Cartesian join and inner join.
Cartesian join and inner join, ma'am.
Yes.
Sorry, ma'am. Tell me again. And creating a table, right?
Don't create any table or anything.
Okay, ma'am.
Just draw the diagram how the Cartesian join will work.
Okay, ma'am, sure. So Cartesian join, it will works like every row from one table and every row with the every row from another table also. So for example, like a Cartesian join for table 1 having 20 rows and table 2 having 10 rows. So it will be prints like by using this Cartesian join also cross join. So by using this Cartesian join, it will be prints like 200 rows. So like that. So diagram is like this. For example, we are having 2 tables. So table 1 having some columns or rows here, and table 2 also having some columns and rows. So this Cartesian join will works like every row will works with another, every row with another table. So like this, and this will also like this. So this first table whatever we are having here, so these all rows will be connected with the second table rows.
Okay. What about inner join?
So inner join is also nothing but it's a join predicator. So it having like the tables having some based on a condition, and this condition will be works in like a common data whatever we are having the both the tables. So that is called the inner join. So like this, we are having 2 tables here. So in these 2 tables, table 1 and table 2, so whatever this table 1 and table 2 having the same common data here, so that will be prints. So this is called the common column here.
Okay. So can you tell me about a left outer join
Yes, ma'am.
with a diagram?
Yes, ma'am, sure. So left outer join is nothing but like this it will. So whatever we are having the left table, so it will prints the left table, it will prints all rows from the left table, and it will also prints some right table. We are having the common rows from the right table. And if there is no common rows from the to the right hand side table, so it will print the null values.
Okay. So then you need to highlight the right common data also, but you are highlighting only left data.
Yes, sure, ma'am. So it will print this common data.
Okay. So what about right outer join?
So right outer join is also similar to left outer join, but it will print it will retrieve the all rows from the right side right side table will be retrieved, and whatever we are having a common data from the left hand side table, and there is no common data from the left table, it will also return say null values.
Okay, show me with the diagram.
Yes, ma'am. So this is a table 1 and table 2. So this is the left side table, and this is the right table. So here we are using the right table. So right side table will be, these all rows will be retrieved here. Okay. So whatever we are having the common column, it will print like it will be comments to print the comment to right hand side table also. You don't have any common columns here for the left side. It will also print like null values only.
Okay, Nagalakshmi.
Thank you.
Have yours. Yeah, Nagalakshmi, your interview is completed.
Okay,
For
ma'am.
further details, our HR will contact you.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.